Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Rev, and welcome to What Yacht To Do.
Today we're going to take you on Journey 99. We're going to go from St. Augustine, Florida, down the San Sebastian River, up the Intracoastal, and all the way into Jacksonville on the St. John. So join us.
It was a very long day, but very rewarding.
And fraught with a little danger.
Fraught. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that and hit the bell so you get notified every time we put out a new video.
All right, let's go. We are departing the River's Edge Marina, where you can see that was our T-head there. We made a 180, and we're going to be going down to San Sebastian River. Seemed kind of close, didn't it, Rev?
Really close. It seemed like our boat was parked right over the channel, and when we left St. Augustine, we had to go up that. I remember you being nervous about that area we had to go down to get there.
Yeah, this is how close it looked. And we did time it so that we could get through the first bridge that had to open for us, which is going to be coming up here, the Bridge of Lions. So let's take a look at the route that we have here, and you see where we are starting from in that little oval on the left panel, and we're going to go down the San Sebastian River, and then we're going to make a turn to port, rejoin the Intracoastal waterway, and we'll be pointing out into the ocean. We're not going to go out into the ocean, the Atlantic. That's the St. Augustine Inlet, and we'll see pictures of that, and we'll make another turn to port, and we will head northbound, picking it up in the right panel down there at the lower right, and heading up a number of bridges that we're going to go under. And the journey was, I think it was a little windy.
Very windy.
We'll get through it. Well, there it is, the Bridge of Lions, and it did have a timed opening for us. A sailboat was there ready to go through. He was first to go through, and you can see the green light signifying it's okay to come through. Like I talked about in some of the other videos, you really need to wait until that green light is there and the bascules are fully open, because there could be equipment on there or whatever is on there might fall down. They want to make sure that those things are up and locked and there's not going to be any issues.
Does this bridge open at a certain time?
Yeah, it was timed. I think it was the bottom of the hour or top of the hour. I can't remember, but it's all covered on the active captain. And so here we go. Going to go through the bridge.
How's it feel?
Feels good. It's a little windy here. Vessel here's to us who's clearing the Bridge of Lions Bridge. Thank you for the great state of Texas.
Have a good day, Captain.
So right now we're using 1370 RPM to go 9 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because the tide's coming in.
Okay.
Pushing in on us.
Oh.
As we move and turn here to the left to go under that bridge, the tide should push us.
Good.
So we'll see what happens.
That just looks terrible.
Oh yeah. See how it's between the red and the green there, how you can get out?
Yeah. Come on, boat.
Let's start turning a bit anyway.
Okay.
You can have a see on the beam here for a little bit.
Okay. Boy, it's really rushing in front of those houses, isn't it?
So as we made that turn to the port and now northbound on the Intracoastal waterway, that water is pushing us, the tide's coming in, it's pushing us, and we're picking up speed.
Yeah.
And I think we gained about 3-4 knots.
We were using a lot of fuel to get to that point, and then after we made the turn, nice.
Yeah, so playing with the tides, and in the distance you can see the Francis and Mary Usina Bridge
Through
going
those
across.
salty windows.
Yeah, through the salty windows. Further up the channel here, or the Intracoastal waterway, staying in the channel.
This area, there are homes on either side, and boathouses in front.
And there's the Palm Valley Bridge.
Got a fisherman there, gonna watch for.
Lots of docks, and that bridge, I found it interesting. I was looking up the bridges, it started that bridge in December of 2000, and they finished it in July of 2002, 19 months to do that bridge, and it was pretty quick.
Yeah, even though we are in the channel and protected, it's still really windy today, and you can see our flag flying. That didn't keep the other traffic we saw out there home, so we did have to deal with some of that today.
We tried to slow it down a little bit, tried to be respectful of the boat dock owners there, because we know how that is, living on a lake.
You see all that salt on the windows?
Yeah, I see the salt. But now you're standing outside, and it's nice and clear. You can see clearly now.
Yeah, the homes in this area, really, really beautiful.
And here comes the bulldozer. And so this was a reminder, like, gosh, hey, we're on the Intracoastal waterway, but it seemed like, we're back in the inland rivers, seeing one of these towboats. Yes. Bulldozer, there she goes.
So it would seem that these beautiful homes would have boathouses somewhere, maybe on the backside. I don't know.
I think it is on the backside. I think there was a little channel there that I noticed somewhere that maybe they have their boathouses on that channel, and they're not right on the Intracoastal waterway.
But they are just lovely. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it is beautiful. This is what's called the Palm Coast area.
Okay.
Very beautiful. And here we go, a sailboat.
It seems like we were protected from the wind somewhat when we were passing by those homes, but made that, got out in the open and hit the wind again.
Yeah, that does look peaceful. I'm sure it's very
Beautiful. Quiet
on there, no engine going, and just kind of moving along with the wind.
Yeah.
We are around mile 747, somewhere around that, on the Intracoastal waterway. And we're going to be coming up on the San Pablo River Bridge, also called the Atlantic Bridge. And that's going to give us a little bit of a challenge as we go through that, as we come up here.
What's the challenge?
You kind of see the Harbor Town Marina and the San Pablo River Bridge, also known as the Atlantic Boulevard Bridge. And that's going to give us a little bit of a challenge as we go through here. And we were looking on our active captain, and we saw a number of places there where there were some warnings. So we'll take a look at that as we go through the bridge.
Where?
Straight out in front of us.
Yeah. Pelicans like it here. Whoa. It's taking you that way.
Yeah.
You need to go that way.
Yeah, I got a direction there.
Ooh. I don't like it. Eddies. Oh my goodness, Sammy. That was awful.
Yeah.
You're good at this. Is green on the right? Whoa, I don't like that. Did the active captain and stuff tell you that was coming?
Yeah. All right, so let me talk to you a little bit when you're doing your planning around the bridges. As you zoom in, you may see one of these little orange-colored rectangular call-out boxes. As you hover over that with your cursor, you will see there is a question mark there, or blue question mark in a box. And you can click on that, and then you can get more information about that. So I read that and said, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a challenge going through here, particularly as the water is rushing in. You can see that from the blue arrow. Another area that gave us concern on this particular trip was the area where we would join the St. Johns River departing the Intracoastal waterway. It's around mile 742 is where the Wonderwood Expressway was, as I remember, and a few miles after that we're going to make a turn. Now the challenge with this is they rerouted the channel, and it is fairly confusing. I did try to get some knowledge of other boaters that went there, but guess what? I still had a challenge with it, and so it just went slow, and once I realized it was in the wrong spot here, okay, throttles came back to idle, and we repositioned ourselves and got back on there. So as you look at the chart, you can see there's places there where people have grounded because they didn't pay attention to what was going on. So even on a clear day, it can be confusing. So just take it slow when you're going through this particular area. And then we'll make a turn to the port side, and we'll be heading upriver on the St. Johns River. All right, we are past that treacherous part where the Intracoastal waterway joins the St. Johns River, and we're actually going up the St. Johns River now, and we can see our first bridge up there is the Napoleon Bonaparte Broward Bridge, and we're starting to see a lot of shipping that is going on here, as well as some dredging operations that we will see that I really didn't think it was going to be quite this extensive.
Right, so all that in the water, it was like a little city almost. To have that claw go down into the water and pull up whatever it pulls up, it was just so surprising to see because, you know, since we'd been in the Illinois and the Mississippi and all that, hadn't really seen big, well, I guess we did a little in Mobile on the downside, but
a little bit there.
But if this is dredging, it just seems like it doesn't bring up that much. It would take forever to do, but I don't know anything about dredging.
Yeah, let's see. It seems like it's you know, you're trying to pull this stuff up with a spoon. It seems like there's a lot of stuff down there, but I guess they can't figure out what's there. They're just dropping it and trying to go. I don't know if they have cameras down there or not. If anybody knows about this a little bit more, we'd love to hear about it in the comment section. So just to try to reorient you where we are is if you look at the right side of the panel there, there's kind of a green circle. That was where we departed the Intracoastal waterway, that treacherous part that I talked to you about, and then went eastbound and wound our way around, and the first bridge, the Napoleon Bonaparte Broward Bridge, right there. And then we will wind our way down to a number of bridges and eventually head southbound. It's going to look like southbound, but we're still going upriver and eventually join the Ortega River and get to our destination in that oval in the lower left part of the panel. So continuing up the river on the St. Johns, you can see there's a lot of activity out there, barges, tows, dredging. And for me, it was a little challenging trying to figure out which way to go here, looking at the navigational markers. You can see that red. Now we're going upriver. Red right returning takes over, so you got to remember that. And maneuvering to stay out of the way here.
Did you ever talk to those people on the barges?
Yeah, and they, you know, basically told me pass on the starboard and the port, and not a big problem. A great shot of the Napoleon Bonaparte Bridge, and also known as the Dams Point or Dames, D-A-M-E-S. I don't know exactly how you say that, but it's a cable-stayed bridge. It's 169 feet tall, and that is I-295 that goes over it. So as we're coming through here, I'm seeing these container ships, and I saw a note on one of the charts that there was a memorial, And I looked it up, and sure enough, it was the cargo ship El Faro. And as I looked that up and researched it, I remember this incident. It was in 2015. I've seen it on the news. And what happened is they departed 2 days after a tropical depression happened in the Caribbean. They were on their way to Puerto Rico, and the captain decided to go anyway. They ignored all kinds of weather warnings. They didn't use the onboard equipment, and it was very tragic. I remember they lost 33 people in there. And as a result of that, I looked it up. There's a great YouTube video from the National Transportation Safety Board, but even though this is a cargo commercial ship, there's a lot of lessons learned of, why you should take a real good look at the weather. And a lot of things came out of this, as well as a lot of changes that happened to commercial shipping that also spilled over into the recreational world. Very interesting to look at.
And so, continuing on the St. Johns River, we pass tows, barges, all kinds of industrial equipment. But I always like taking video of passing them. I just think it looks so cool.
And did get to talk to that guy. There you see in the background the city of Jacksonville as we continue to wind our way up the river. We're going to see 2 bridges there. The first one is the John Matthews Bridge, and behind that is what they call the Green Monster, the Isaiah Hart Bridge. Very close together. Interesting, the John Matthews Bridge, in 2013, a Navy ship hit that bridge and took it down for a month, and the actual investigation of it, one thing that they found was, the bridge was 5 feet lower than it was reported, and also the Navy ship was 5 feet higher than it was reported. So, bridge lower, ship taller, not good. So they got that sorted out.
I remember being in this area and feeling so little.
Yeah.
Because everything seems so
These
giant.
bridges are big. The one was 152, and this next one here, you're seeing the Green Monster, a truss bridge, was 141 feet. City of Jacksonville.
This really is a pretty area. Sorry, that's blurry, but that says Maxwell House on the side.
Coming up into the city portion of it here, and we're slowing down, just taking the sights in, because we do have a bridge coming up here, and there seemed to be a little bit of traffic, as well as, wasn't there a little kind of one of those little pedal boats or something?
Not there yet,
but
yeah. But coming up to Jacksonville, this it's just anytime there's a downtown and we get close to it, it's a humbling and incredible experience, and that's what happened here.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. There's that little pedal boat. Yeah, so we kind of slowed down to make sure we weren't going to wake him.
Yeah, little touristy. I love those things. I love being on them.
Pretty
They're
good.
fun.
There's what's called the Main Street Bridge, but the official name is the John Alsop Bridge, 35 feet tall. We didn't need to have it open.
In the background, you can see more bridges to come.
Yeah. All right, now we're looking at the Acosta Bridge. And behind that, you will see the FEC Strauss Trunnion Bridge, which is normally open, and it was open for us. So we went under the Acosta Bridge, which is 75 feet tall, and we were able to get through that Trunnion Railroad Bridge.
Yeah, there's no way you can get under that if it's down.
I think it's actually charted at 5 feet when it's down, so nobody's going to get under that one. So we made it through there, and as we passed and coming up on the next bridge, which is the Fuller Warren, there is a sailboat, and guess what? The sailboat had to figure out what to do because that bridge closed.
The railroad
bridge, it closed right after we went. We heard it closing, and these sailboats are trying to figure out what to do. I guess they're going to have to start up the engine and kind of wait somewhere or sail around in circles. So here we are going under the Fuller Warren Bridge, and after this we're going to still be going up the St. Johns River, and then we're going to make a turn to the starboard.
I remember going under this, and you were so nervous about what was coming up. And I could not understand why, because looking out there, plenty of water, land's far away, boats aren't going to hit each other. So, what's the deal?
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. We'll show you a picture of the chart, but we're going to make a turn up here, and I'm looking at the water, but I'm also looking at my chart, and I can see it's going to be a little skinny water coming up here. This bridge actually is I-95, and it seems to me like there's 4 lanes each way, a major artery in on the East Coast.
It's really nice. Aw,
Yeah.
love that sailboat just sailing along there. Doesn't that look peaceful?
Yeah, it does
But
look
you were
peaceful.
freaked out.
Yeah, I don't know if I was freaked out, but I was ready
You
to
were freaked out.
maneuver, and I had you come up to the bridge.
Right.
All right, and here is why. At that red dot, we are traveling southbound and still on the St. John's, but we are going to have to make a turn to the starboard and go across some very skinny water there, and then make a turn to the port and come up the Ortega River. So I had actually called Rev up to the bridge, and she was going to call out depths for me as we went there, but we did make it through. We didn't scrape or hit bottom, but this was, for me, one of the more challenging parts of this particular.
Was the water high as it could be, or did
No,
we go
we were kind of
or-
mid tide, and
Oh.
we were trying to time it, but it was not low tide. I certainly want to go through there in low tide. And when we depart from here on voyage number 100, we're going to be departing at near high tide, and
That's
then
good.
heading back down the river and getting a push. And here is the Ortega River Bridge. We were in contact with the bridge tender there, and he saw us coming. He said he would time it so that it would be open as we approached it, and we were going fairly slow here, probably about 6 to 7 miles per hour as we went through here.
So this is a bridge that they just open it when you get there. It's
Yeah,
not like
opens
an
on
on the
request.
hour.
Yeah, opens on request.
Okay.
And I think it was 9 feet. So
Yeah, it was
we
little.
obviously needed to get through. And there, and you can look that bridge up. It's on the Registry of Historic Bridges.
Yeah, so coming down through this area, we get to
Lambs Yacht Center. And we got in, and
Finally, our
our
destination.
destination, and a planned trip home for 2 weeks.
Yep, 2
which
weeks.
Turned into a lot longer.
There we are at the airport.
So thanks for watching our trip from St. Augustine, Florida, all the way up to Jacksonville. Trip 99. The next one will be 100. What?
And if we ever get out of quarantine and get back on the boat, then
we will
do trip 100.
Trip 100, the centennial trip, I guess, right?
Woo-hoo.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
See ya.